Right, let's kick off. So there is this rise of AI influencers. There's a rise of AI influencers, and the world is becoming more and more cooked. More and more cooked. So picture the scenes, right? So I walk into my family house, and my dad is sat there watching YouTube videos, as he does typically on the weekends. And he's got a playlist on the right-hand side with all of these videos that he tends to watch. Now, he watches normally travel videos, but he also kind of gets into the political sphere. As your older dad gets more acquainted to technology, he then finds, rationale into watching more obscure political videos as well. And I tell him, lay off it. Sometimes it can be skewed, it can be biased, it could be a lot of BS, but he loves it nevertheless. And whatever he loves, I'm happy for him to do. But anyways, I grab my cup of tea. I come back around and he's watching a video that he's very excited about. And it's the face of Ibrahim Traoré. Now, for those who don't know who Ibrahim Traoré is, let me bring up some context. So here he is, right? So my dad's watching a video on Ibrahim Traoré. Sorry, I pronounced his name wrong, and I'm probably conscious that I pronounced his name wrong just there. But he's the interim president of Burkina Faso. Obviously, there is a lot of conversations around his confidence, his charm, his intelligence, but it's also the way he presents himself as someone who is for the people and for the country, which has never been the case due to the fact that there's a lot of corruption in Africa. Now, I'm not going to make this a political video. It's just to give you guys some context as to who he is. But generally, he's got a lot of videos online. So my dad was really excited. He was like, look at this guy, very powerful, very strong in his words. So I started to analyze the video. Now, again, as someone who works in tech, I kind of realized things very quickly, especially in terms of language, in terms of pacing. I also work in content as well, so I'm very quick to understand what makes a really good content. So I look at his lips, right? And I realize it's not in sync to the language that he's saying. So there seems to be a very disconnecting reality here. And then I realized it was done by artificial intelligence. That entire video is done using AI, an AI model. But my dad he wasn't hearing it. I said, Dad, you do know that this guy it's not real, right? The video is not real. He was talking very politically about something as well. So there was a lot of kind of misinformation in that regard in the video that he was speaking about. I was like, Dad, this isn't real. It's just AI. And he's like, what the hell is AI? I was like, yeah, there's this reality where individuals can act as if they are, or people can create avatars in the shape of President Putin, Trump, Keir Starmer, or any kind of political leaders, and just type in natural language what they want them to say and create a visually high quality video, right? And post it online. His head fried to that reality, right? And to the point where he got paranoid. I feel like I left him in the state of paranoia, because the next video that he watched, he was like, is this done by AI? This comes back to my realization that we are cooked. That was my opening sentence. And the reality is we are cooked. Now, let's jump into kind of an article that I was reading. And, there's a lot of people that mention things around AI influencer marketing. There was this young fake lady who took the world by storm, which I can bring up here. Could you bring up the lady who took the world by storm because she was an AI and was in Wimbledon? So this young lady is so crazy and weird, right? Like, she looks photorealistic. Like, it genuinely looks like the apple spritz looks a bit weird. Like, it looks a bit weird. I don't know what that crumbly thing is. I'm pretty sure it's I don't know, some artificial intelligence stuff. But anyways, there's a rise of these virtual influencers, and this is the topic of discussion for today, which is, what do we feel about AI influencers, right? I feel like, personally, we're living in a great parasocial collapse, or what I've written it, nobody believes in creators anymore, and influencers are finished, and here's why. These are my titles, by the way. I always write my titles down. So yeah, AI influencers marketing may pose risk to brand trust, a new Northeastern research finds. Now, I'm not gonna get into the study because I know that you guys are not dumb. And I know most people aren't dumb in a sense that we know how stupid this concept is. Influencers means trust. Influencers should have the highest form of integrity, right? If you've built an audience, and building an audience involves building reputation and trust, then the things that you market, right, should come from you. It should not come from any form of virtual influence. So this is the reason why I think who these AI-powered influencers are will serve as damage for all influencers. It could actually be the end of the creators economy as we speak. Everyone talks about we need more real things, right? More real brands, more real voices, more real kind of recommendations. We don't need, there was this kind of information age that we used to, this lying information period with influencers, right? I think it was to do with the teas, or the kind of like skinny teas. And then it was to do with like, there was a massive scandal on what was that show that used to, Panorama, I think it was called. For those who don't live in the UK, it's a BBC show. And it was exposing influencers who literally, they created a fake product, right? In fact, let me bring it up. Because I know my memory is pretty good, but we can just bring it up. There you go. Okay, so the documentary you're referring to is the BBC Panorama episode, £1 Million Selfie Sell-Off, which I'd recommend you guys watch, which aired in February 2019. This expose explored how social media influencers are often offered large sums of money to promote products on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, sometimes even for products that are fake or offer or of questionable value. The program highlighted that many influencers were willing to advertise items they knew little or nothing about purely for financial gain, raising questions about trust and authenticity in influencer marketing. That aside, the issue that I have is what the hell is AI influencers? AI-powered influencers have the potential to damage brand reputation more than their human equivalent. So the research found that there is likely to be more reputational damage done to a brand's trust if artificial intelligence-powered influencers rather than their human equivalent are involved in selling a product that a consumer is unhappy with. Virtual influencers in social media versus the metaverse, mind perception, blame judgment, and brand trust. But then again, it comes down to this, right? This for me signals lack of accountability. For me, it signals lack of accountability. For example, let's say you promote a health supplement item. You realize that the person doing it is virtual. Now, if you could tell, if they are actively saying that this account is run by an AI, it's virtual, it's, fake, cool. You as the consumer have to take that into account before making a purchase. My fear, and it's a rising fear, is individuals who do not actively say that they are fake, who pose as if they are real. As i.e., an example with my dad watching Ibrahim Traore and this influencer who was in Wimbledon, who the world thought was real. This is where the problem lies. When we skew virtual and reality, when we have no differentiation between what's real and what's fake. And this is the biggest fear that I had. In the first video that I've ever made, I spoke about Cluely. Cluely is a company that has raised $15 million to help individuals cheat in interviews. Then now we're seeing the rise of AI influencers who are able to promote, speak about things, do things without any ramifications or accountability because they don't exist. It could be created by a bot account, and that bot account can be created by a private account and a VPN based in Wuhan, China. We don't know. We have no clue. And this is where my fear comes, right? And again, my fear, I will never ever be an advocate of virtual influencers ever. If that's even a question in the companies that I work at, I will be the first to give my opinion. I'll be the first to give my opinion, and it will be a very strong opinion, right? As in, I wouldn't even allow it if that was a question, because I feel like we then lose our sense of duty as humans to remind ourselves that we have a responsibility never to stray individuals a way for money, for monetary gains. There are many ways that we can make £1 million. There are a million ways that we can make £1 million. Lying and cheating your way through it never helps. It's short term and there's always ramifications at the end of it. But let's go back into this, right? So AI influences legal risk in 2025, accountability challenge, which is what I mentioned, right? So understanding AI influences and liability laws. AI influencers are artificially created entities run by sophisticated algorithms, often acting on social media platforms as personalities endorsing products, sharing opinions, or engaging audiences. These virtual personas blur the line between machine and human, making it crucial to revisit traditional liability laws. In 2025, AI influencers like Leah and CadeBot rack up millions of followers, yet their lack of human agency poses questions about who shoulders responsibility when things go wrong. As I clearly mentioned, can AI be culpable? No. Facts. There is no way AI could be culpable because it doesn't exist. And you may say, well, yeah, there's people who would actually build these AI influencers, right? But who are those? Who are those individuals? They could be, again, someone in a VPN situated place and be unknown. They could be ghosted, but yet they're building an AI personality that has millions of followers, right? And again, it comes to, let me land on this, man. It's really upset me. It lands on the personality trait as well with artificial intelligence that I had in the previous video where I talk about ChatGPT and the reason why most, or even the previous video where I spoke about AI girlfriends and most people being so attached to their AI models because of the personality traits that they've built within these AI models, right? Again, 4.0 was deprecated and most people were crying. I think that was, I'm going to make a new video on AI relationships because I feel like this, I spoke about it very faintly. It's very sick what I'm reading, right? In terms of individuals who have actually created Reddits and finding ways in which they can almost ensure their relationships are protected in case an event happens like this again. You cannot make this up. There are people plotting and planning ways and technologies that they can build that will protect their personality AI trained bot in case of a moment of deprecation again. And that, people, is when society falls. We are heading towards an interesting time, and interesting is optimistic. I try to be optimistic, but we are heading towards darker times that I will be here reporting on each time I see it. But anyways, I want to leave you guys with that video just to kind of give you guys an understanding of AI relationships or AI influencers, right? Posing a real risk. And again, I'll come back to the story as a reminder that my dad, right? And I'm pretty sure most of your parents who aren't familiar with artificial intelligence will watch, consume information, whether it's video or paper form, created by a non-human entity and believe that as to be proof and point. This is the times that we're heading towards. And if we don't take ownership of that reality, right, then we are cooked. We are cooked. Anyways, it's 9:16 p.m. on a Friday night. I'm enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying making these videos. It's very fun for me. I will now start planning my next few videos that I can shoot tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoy these two videos. I think there's a lot of conversations for us to have. I'm going to be positioning myself as someone who is seeing things from an outside lens. I'm not going to be gassing things up. If you're expecting me to hype things up, this is not the channel for it. I'm going to come at it from a logical and rational standpoint. And if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you like it, whatever the case may be. Any form of interaction is all good for me. Videos are dropping on a regular basis. Now, the cadence that I used to say was every day. I've now shifted that message. It's no longer every day. It's as and when, but there will be consistency on a regular basis, meaning weekly, you would see a video at one point or another, hopefully. But yeah, it wouldn't be every single day. And again, there'll be moments where I do batch shoot content. So you'll be seeing the same drip and the same drinks. But anyways, hopefully you found it useful. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.